Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. Grady Hooker, your host. I'll jump straight into this day in history, 22nd of November. It's a massive day. We had two WWF Madison Square Garden shows. In 1976, Bruno Sammartino retained the WWF Championship by countout against Stan Stasiak. And in 1982, Bob Backlund and Billy Graham fought to a double DQ finish. There was the Monday Night Wars were raging on in 1999. On Raw, Triple H and DX were getting punished by Vince McMahon with a no DQ handicap match against the Acolytes, while over on Nitro we had 13 matches full of failed comedy and women's cleavage. In 2004 we had WWE Raw. Batista continued his hunt against Triple H Evolution in the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, in 2010, Randy Orton defended his WWF Championship against Wade Barrett, only to be cashed in on by The Miz. So Miz is the new WWE Champion. Bit of a rollback to the really old days. NWA Starrcade. In 1984, Ric Flair successfully defended his NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Dusty Rhodes. And in another WCW pay-per-view, World War III this time, 1998, Kevin Nash emerged victorious from a 60-man battle royale that was contained in 3 massive rings. There were a couple of Survivor Series pay-per-views as well. 1990, the entire card was traditional Survivor Series matches, which included the world's best tag team, the Bushwhackers, and also one very important figure and one hardly noticeable figure. The Gobbledygooker and The Undertaker both made their debuts on Survivor Series 1990, this day in history. A bit more recent, 2009, there were 3 Survivor Series matches, and it included a Divas one, just like the one we're going to be getting this time. And The Undertaker and John Cena both defended their titles in triple threat matches against Jericho and DX respectively. So since The Undertaker managed to successfully defend his title and debut this day in history, I think it's just fitting that we play his entrance theme for the classic entrance theme. It's him when he was American Badass.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
And you're back, Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker, live via Skype right now. Joining me from America, Josh.
Yos.
So, Raw started off, Randy Orton comes out, but then we get sort of a fight for power between Orton, Kane, Brad, and Vicky.
Yeah, nobody knew who was supposed to be in charge of Raw.
You'd think the Authority would leave behind some notes saying who's in charge.
Yeah, you would think that, but you would think that the Raw general manager would be in charge of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I think the only one here without a stake is Vicky. I don't think Vicky has any control whatsoever.
Yeah, that was something that didn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, in what way would the SmackDown GM have any authority over Raw?
I don't know. But Kane seems to be pushing his corporate side a bit more now.
Yeah. I didn't get this segment. I don't really think many people did. It didn't make any sense whatsoever, and it basically ended up with Randy Orton getting a handicap match against the tag team champions,
Which he promptly sort of ran away from.
Yeah, it was a good match until he ran away from the match. And then for the first time I've ever seen, the announce table got taken out at the beginning of a show.
It's amazing. And it wasn't even a Spanish announce table.
No.
But yeah, that match seemed okay, but it definitely built the Big Show Orton match that we're going to be seeing at Survivor Series. Okay, well,
that choke slam through the table was quite sick when he was standing on top of the steps.
yeah. Okay, well, the next match, Santino Marella and Los Matadores took on this new trio called the Union Jacks.
I'm worried that this may begin to be a new trend for 3MB.
No, it's not, no.
that they may end up trying to do like a gimmick from whatever city they're in for musical gimmick.
No, you've already heard me go off the rails at this last time. That just no.
Yeah. That makes me worried about next week's Raw, because next week's Raw is going to be in the Music City of Nashville, which is a country city.
Yeah, isn't it Raw Goes Country or something?
Yeah, Raw Country.
I just bash my head into a wall for 3 hours instead.
Well, I like country music, so I'm looking forward to the themed episode.
Okay. Well, Santino did actually pick up the win for his team, so it's not like this gimmick change is helping 3MB at all.
Well, they did win on main event.
Oh! So yeah, Orton and the Authority are arguing backstage. It seems nobody has power whatsoever.
Yeah, they're clearly playing up Orton's history with his shoulder injuries, which actually, one time he injured his shoulder. He injured it while he was doing his thing where he slams on the mat.
Yeah.
For the RKO. He actually injured himself doing that.
Oh. Either way, the next match, Damien Sandow took on Kofi Kingston.
Sandow's getting stronger and stronger every week.
He's definitely being elevated from where he was losing every single match with the briefcase.
Yeah, he's won eight of his last 12 matches.
I think that briefcase, getting rid of it, was a bit of a weight off his back.
Yeah.
But either way, the next match, the Intercontinental Championship, Curtis Axel put his title on the line against Dolph Ziggler.
I know everybody was shocked that Curtis Axel retained the title in this match.
Definitely. Axel's had it for a while and not done much with it. I definitely could have seen them passing it to Ziggler.
Yeah, from what I've heard, his days as champion are still numbered, even though he retained the title here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see who who can be able to take the title from him. I'm still hoping that Big E Langston gets the title shot, because he earned the title shot and then never got it.
Yeah, I think he's still owed a shot.
Yeah.
Well, see, we know that Maddox and Kane backstage can actually agree on matches, so maybe they might go up against that dynamic duo.
Who knows? I was actually shocked that Kane and Brad Maddox was doing all this arguing during the entire episode, and Kane never chokeslammed him or anything.
He's got his anger management under control. Zack Ryder took a shot at being the WWE Shop bestseller, or whatever you want to call them.
I muted my television during this segment.
Okay, I think that's enough said about that segment. Tamina Snuka took on Nikki Bella.
This was an alright match for the Divas. But the crowd was not into this match.
It's fairly hard to get a crowd into a Divas match.
Yeah, you had the crowd doing the random chants. Of course, they were in the UK, which originated those random chants.
Yeah. It definitely set up the Bellas taking on AJ, Tamina, that sort of feud that's still underlying between the entire Divas division.
Yeah. We'll probably see something at Survivor Series between the Total Divas and non-Total Divas.
I win! I told you that like 3 weeks ago.
But that probably means we'll see JoJo and Eva Marie wrestle again.
Okay, then nobody wins.
Yeah.
The Shield come in and try and comfort Randy Orton, but he's not too happy at them.
Yeah, I love this segment. You're starting to get these little bit of these, like, hints that the Shield could be breaking away from the Authority.
Yeah, it seems they're getting a little sick of what they're being made to do.
And they're especially sick of Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But I loved how each of them got into the face of Randy Orton during the segment.
Okay. Well, up next, the match was Fandango taking on Tyson Kidd.
Tyson's back, but he lost the Fandango.
It's Fandango.
Ha!
You gotta say it right, man. But yeah, Fandango,
Yeah, finally learned it.
he did get the roll up on Tyson, so gotta give him a little bit of credit. Even if it was a cheap victory. The theme for tonight seems to be handicap matches. So we get John Cena taking on both of the Real Americans.
This was a really good handicap match, especially for the interchanges between Cesaro and Cena. I really would like to see that as a World Heavyweight Championship feud in the future.
I think it could.
They keep teasing the giant swing.
But we never get it.
That is, I think the fans are going to go ballistic when he actually hits the giant swing on Cena.
Yeah. After the match, though, Alberto Del Rio seems to attack John Cena, and then, weirdly, we get Biggie Langston to make the save.
And the fans went nuts when Biggie came out for the save.
Yeah. It seems Big E seems to be saving everybody lately. CM Punk, John Cena.
I think he's getting the ball and he's beginning to run with it.
Yeah. Quite literally.
We'll have to see where he progresses, but from what I understand, he's really liked backstage, and he's got the right people behind him.
Yeah. Where he progresses for at least tonight was made by Kane and Maddox pretty much straight after that match. They decided Alberto Del Rio was going to hurt him.
Well, we'll talk about the match later.
Yeah. For now, we can lead into our current entrance theme of the week. It's The Undertaker's. And you're back, Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. We'll jump into Raw where we left off. Ryback actually loses to R-Truth.
Yeah, this was a sign that Ryback has just gone off the cliff.
Yeah. I think that's also reinforced by Paul Heyman's segment pretty soon after, where he pretty much attacks Ryback verbally in every single way possible.
Yeah, that was as public of a burial as I've ever seen in the WWE.
Yeah. I think Ryback is sliding down that cliff right now. But we get the match we talked about a little bit earlier, as well saw the song. Biggie Langston took on Alberto Del Rio.
This was a good short match between Alberto Del Rio and Big E. I would have liked it had been longer, but it helped with what it needed to do with giving ADR a win over a big guy. I just think it would have been better off if they had used maybe the super kick to win the match and not the cross-arm break.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we move on to the main event of the night. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in another handicap match take on The Shield.
Yeah, this was a great 3-on-2 handicap match. Couldn't really ask for more between these five. And then we had the end. Which was epic.
With the Wyatts, The Shield, Rhodes Brothers, Usos, Punk and Bryan.
Yeah, we had the Wyatts, the Shield just duking it out. Giving us a little bit of a tease between a possible feud between them. And then you had them like, oh wait, we're supposed to be on the same side. Let's go get them.
Yeah. It definitely looks like you could easily form a 6-on-6 out of that brawl.
But the next day on WWE.com, they destroyed everybody's dreams
Yep.
by giving us a tag team match between Punk and Bryan and the Wyatt family, minus Bray Wyatt.
Saddening. Well, we'll jump over to SmackDown, talking about the Wyatt family. They opened the show taking on the Usos.
Yeah, it was a good little tag match. And I still absolutely love that clothesline finish.
Fair enough. It definitely looks devastating when you look at it.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to take somebody's head off, like JBL's back in the day.
Yeah. So it turns out neither Ryback or Curtis Axel are Heyman guys anymore.
Yeah, I think that really spells out the in for Axel's Intercontinental Championship reign.
Up next were a couple of comedy segments, R-Truth and the Primetime Players, and then William Regal's WWE Shop promo.
William Regal is the best sellman in WWE. Your argument is invalid.
But he got replaced by the Great Khali.
I know, but it was absolute. I was cracking up while William Regal was doing his bit. I was absolutely cracking up. I love it.
Other than the fake Union Jacks, this was like the first sighting of an actual Englishman, isn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. Wade Barrett wasn't even shown on either show.
Yeah. Okay, well, up next, Natalia took on Tamina Snuka.
This is a great little tag or Divas match that was built basically off of the Divas Championship match that was on Main Event.
Yeah. Well, it seems again that we're getting a lot of these Total Divas versus, what did AJ call them, the Real Divas or something?
I don't know. It's coming to a head. I don't know what exactly they're going to do, but I get a feeling they're going to do something.
Okay. Well, it seems Brad Maddox tries to continue his authority over on SmackDown and argue with Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, it makes about as much sense Vicky Guerrero coming over and making rules on the Raw.
Yeah, a little confusing. But we get another 6-man tag match, R-Truth and the Primetime Players taking on the Union Jacks.
This is a rematch from the Main Event match that the Union Jacks actually won.
Yeah, but they lose here. It's like,
Yeah.
Either way, we get is it an arm wrestling contest?
Yeah, we got an arm wrestling contest. The main thing that I liked about this particular segment was John Cena, when he went to do the arm wrestling, he turned his hat backwards, which is a reference to a movie called Over the Top.
You sure it isn't Ash from Pokemon?
No, because Over the Top is a movie about arm wrestling.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Up next, we got another Divas match. We're just so full of them. The Bella Twins took on the Funkadactyls.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that we got a second Divas match. But it was a good Divas match, and we got to see Naomi actually wrestle, and she won with the rear view.
A bit of fighting between the ranks of the Total Divas. Might have been some friendly competition.
Yeah. I enjoyed the interview that followed this with Punk and Bryan.
Yes.
Though they called themselves the Beard and the Best.
Yes.
But yeah, I just I enjoyed when they were going, yes, yes, yes.
But the match straight after, we get the return of Hunico and Camacho, just to be Kali bombed out of existence again.
Yeah. That's all you could say. Yeah.
Pretty much. So we'll just smoothly move on to the next match. The Beard and the Best took on the former Heyman guys.
Yeah, this was a good tag team match. But again, it was all about the ending.
Yeah.
You had the Wyatts come out, Puck and Brian are missing, and they go after it and demolish the Heyman guys.
It seems...
Ex-Heyman guys.
Yeah, the Wyatts just seem to want to take out anybody and everybody at this point.
And then Puck and Brian comes out from under the ring and takes them down, knocks them down, and then takes off.
Some cheap tactics. Okay. Well, it's been great talking to you, Josh.
And great being on again.
So there aren't actually that many birthdays we're getting this week. We got Miss Elizabeth, former valet of Macho Man Randy Savage. She sadly passed away in 2003. The Wild Samoan Arthur turned 71. And the Bella twins, Brie and Nikki Bella, turned 30. That's all, but luckily we've got a lot of news coming out of IPW Nightmare Road Last Chance. It happened last Saturday. We had James Shaw manage to defeat Pat Shisk, but Shisk got on the phone with IPW Head of Live Events, everyone's favourite person in the world, Steve Wrigley, and managed to get James Shaw banned from the building for the night. Joel Clementson came out and defeated Liger, but only by disqualification. When Pirate Burns got interfered, didn't manage to help him. Liger still managed to nail Clementson with his bat. But after the match, Liger ended up cutting off Burns' trademark moustache, so I don't think the feud's over with those three yet. Next up, Khan issued an open challenge, and he was quite surprised when Brittany came out to answer the challenge, but the Perfect Woman got one over Khan and ended up winning the match with a roll-up. Our scheduled 6-man tag team match ended up being a 3-on-2 handicap match after Alfred Valentine was found missing, and then Kingy accused the Agents of Change and then was assaulted. TNT decided to take on the other team of Agents of Change and Kurt Chaos, but miscommunication led to Henry clocking Chaos with the Superman punch, and then Lil T capitalized and covered Chaos for the win. In IPW Women's Championship action, Emmy Driver took on Evie. That match got fought to a no contest as Pat Shisk evacuated Emmy from the ring, and she ended up running away to the back. Evie ended up nailing Shisk with a Yakuza kick in frustration, so not everything was lost. And then a short little match, we got Kurt Chaos. He kind of defeated Tough. Yeah, don't worry about that. The main event of the night, just like I expected and told everybody on Facebook, the match was turned into a number one contenders match. Travis Banks ended up defeating Tycade, even though the special referee was Vinnie Dunn. Interference from the Agents of Change and James Shaw removed Vinnie Dunn, luckily, allowing Banks to roll Tycade into a small package where a totally impartial referee could call the win. This is sort of leading up to a few matches coming up at their headline pay-per-view, IPW Nightmare Before Xmas. We've already got the Fans Bring the Weapons IPW Championship. Vinnie Dunn will be defending against Travis Banks. The TNT put out a challenge to the Agents of Change, which was swiftly accepted, so the IPW NZ Tag Team Championships will also be on the line between the Agents of Change and TNT. Expect to see James Shaw go up against some crony of Steve Wrigley, probably Tycade or one of the others. And hopefully we see some sorting out of this IPW Women's Championship action. Steve Wrigley better get on the ball there, or we might just kick him a little bit. So that's it for this week. Visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling R Radio. And I'll see you next week.